You let me violate you. You let me
So on to Harry Brown from 2009, starring Michael Caine as the titular hero. Outside London, the retired Marine Harry Brown, Michael Caine, spends his lonely life between the hospital where his beloved wife Kath is terminally ill and playing chess with his only friend Len in the barge bar owned by Sid. After the death of Kath, Len tells his friend Harry that the local gang of hoods is harassing him and he is carrying an old bayonet for self-defence. The widower suggests to him that he go to the police, but when Len is beaten to death in the local underpass, Inspector Alice Frampton and her partner Sergeant Terry Hickok are sent to investigate. But Harry Brown sees that justice will not be granted and decides to take matters into his own hands. The writer of Harry Brown was Gary Young and the director Daniel Barber. Eleanor, Harry Brown.
I thought this film was an outstanding offering. I started watching it, I was absolutely mesmerised. You know, in the same way, I was trying to sort of figure it out, in the same way that Australia has this, I suppose, a bit of a, what do you say, like our films that we are known for are those kind of comedic films with that like Priscilla and Muriel's Wedding and that sort of, and Crocodile Dundee, that are, iconic Australian kind of sense of humour. English films, for me, like some of the best English films I've seen are things like Under the Skin and The War Zone, London to Brighton, these really dark, gritty English films, and I just love them. Like, they're independent films and they're edgy and dark, and the performances in this film were insane. A large proportion, very young cast.
Yeah, mostly young.
And I just, it was, and Michael Caine too, I tipped my hat. I just thought it was great.
I feel completely the opposite.
Really?
I didn't go for it at all.
Wow.
I thought it was very average. I thought it was a reasonable setup, but it got to some dodgy plotting towards the end, and I thought, oh no.
Really?
No.
Without doing a spoiler, it's hard, but like,
yeah.
How so?
No, well I thought, because, as I mentioned in the plot synopsis, you got, Len is his mate, and Sid who looks after him in the bar, and suddenly the picture kind of changes, and you're just like, well, no, I mean, that would have come up before. I mean, that would have been known beforehand. And suddenly it's just...
Oh, I see. You're talking about... You thought the twist was unfeasible.
Yeah, I thought the twist was unfeasible.
Oh, I didn't at all.
I thought it was just slightly bit dodgy plotting, but I mean, because it had to serve that purpose to get to where it was going. But no, I just didn't think that was the way to go with it at all. I didn't like the climax.
I was so appreciative of a twist that I didn't pick.
I mean, like I said, the setup was really good. And the first interaction with the sort of the crims, not the underpass crims, but he goes shopping for a gun. That's no spoiler. And he has to go visit some crims. That was fantastic. That scene was awesome. And there has been a bit of discussion in reviews and in the media about the ethics and the politics of the vigilante style, Harry Brown, the Death Wish style of story that it is. And is that really the best way? I mean,
but how can you condemn this film for that, but yet let this slew of other films come through, which I think deal with far worse issues?
Well,
like, why pick on this film for that vigilantism?
Well, all right. Well,
vigilante aspect.
Vigilantism.
It's Sunday, okay.
But I guess because they've got Michael Caine. Michael Caine's sort of the only known actor in there. Oh, well, with the exception of Emily Mortimer as the cop, who is the actual lone voice of reason and questioning in the film, which is a good balance there. But ultimately, I think basically it's condoning that kind of course of action. And to be honest, I don't have the answers. I'm just saying is that, you know, is that really something you want to see? Is that really something you want to see Michael Caine, who's revered in the cinema, and basically putting Michael Caine in that situation and is basically condoning it, I think, because you're saying there's this respected man and he's doing this really, you know, he's doing this shooting, killing people, that sort of thing.
But can't you say that of Ben Kingsley in Sexy Beast? Like, he's a respected man, you know, going around and killing and, you know, creating mayhem.
But that's because he's a crimp. But Harry, at the core of it, Harry isn't a crimp.
But it's still, it's a film. Like, you know, it's a heightened reality and it's a film. I find that debate, you know, I understand the debate, but I kind of, sometimes because films are their stories, they are a fictional story being told, unless they're a documentary. You know, I mean, you could layer that debate onto anything, and I just think it's a bit weird to tack it on here.
The debate can go on forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and it probably...
And it will go on off camera here.
But I also didn't like music. I think music is a really important part for me in a film, and didn't like music. I found it very intrusive, and I thought there are better ways to score a film like this. Again, not saying I have the answers, but I just found it too intrusive, and yeah.
This is fascinating. You and I are polar opposites on this film.
Yeah.
Polar opposites.
There you go. Alright, that's none of that. I am going to only give it 4 out of 10.
I'm going to give it 8 out of 10.
You failed to maintain your weapon, son. I don't reckon you've got long. I've seen that before. Gut wound. The slug's probably torn right through your liver.